What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another podcast episode. Me and Jake are going solo today. No guest.
Nope.
Hopefully, we don't deprive you guys too much. You think you remember how to do this? Just me and you?
Yeah, it's been a hot minute, huh?
Yeah. I don't know if I know how to talk anymore. I've been able to ask so many questions and have the other people just be sharing all their stories and being the ones engaged and having to share the information. So I would just get to sit back, kind of relax, ask some questions, and get to learn. That's been quite enjoyable, actually.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It is a very different situation though, just being able to listen to somebody else talk and kind of provoke where the conversation goes rather than actually forming the conversation around your ideas. It's a very different thing to do.
Yeah, so like this week I was getting a little bit anxious because I was like, dude, we gotta like prepare, we gotta do this on our own. And so for me, that pressure and trying to figure out what it is we're gonna talk about, asking for topics, because in the back of my mind, I almost need to try to have something that's there instead of just like sitting here and like, okay, what are we going to talk about? And be like, a little bit like, I just feel like I'm going to screw up or like worry about what to say. So it's like, it helps a little bit if I have an understanding of like some topics. Okay, we'll go over that. We'll talk about those things. And I'm super thankful to you that you came up with some topics that I think are going to be really good to talk about. But I'm hoping that our guests don't get that type of anxiety when we invite them onto the podcast, and they're the ones thinking like, "Oh my gosh, like I
Right.
got to talk this week."
Yeah.
So, but I think there's something unique into asking questions, right? So when you're able to ask questions, most of the time people already have a generated response, or if you can find out what it is that they're passionate about or what they already have a good understanding, it just flows very, very naturally, which we've had in all of our conversations where you've had guests, is where we're asking them things that they're passionate about, they're excited about, and that they enjoy talking about. And I'm hoping that it doesn't feel like they're under um, under the light and just like being questioned or investigated like they committed a crime or anything like that.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure it is probably a little different, especially if you've never been on a podcast before. I mean, it was very different for us when we first started. I mean, our first episode was probably, I don't know, it's much different than after doing it for 6 months or whatever we've been doing it. I mean, it's overwhelming at first, I can imagine. But yeah, asking questions about something that they know a lot about is, I mean, they don't have to think about that because they already know it. They have a lot of experience in it. So it's kind of second nature to them, I guess.
Yeah, and that kind of brings us into the first topic of tonight's episode, is trying to do things that you're passionate about
Hmm.
inside of life, and maybe figuring out how you do those things, how you work up to those things, and I guess what that process looks like. So when you thought about that topic, like what were your thoughts? What were you thinking?
Um, just I don't know. I think that doing something that you actually care about is so important because if you're not doing anything that you care about ever and you're just going to work, you're going home, eating, sleeping, driving back to work, and you don't like your job or you're not trying to express yourself in any other way, it can be so debilitating and it breaks you down so fast and your stress levels go up and the likelihood that you get actual diseases, like it affects your actual physical health as well as your mental health. So it's just important to do something that at least you like doing. I mean, like whether it be drawing or trying to start up a side hustle or just even like going out and golfing or something and just having fun. It's so important.
And I think that's the important thing. So oftentimes when you think about doing what you're passionate about, the assumption is made that we need to find a career that fulfills us, that brings us those passions. And while that is great, being that, we spend 40 hours a week or more
Hmm.
at that career, to maybe be able to work towards that, what you're kind of going more into depth into is that each day should be filled with those types of things.
Hmm.
Maybe for me, I love going to the gym. So like, that's why the first thing when I get up, it's like, I'm excited to go to the gym. Like I'm passionate about it. I'm passionate about health and fitness. I really enjoy that. And to tell you the truth, like in the last year, I think I've had to go deeper within myself and ask myself what I'm passionate about or what I enjoy to try to actually find these things. Because being a people pleaser myself, I found myself having a hard time articulating the things that I like and not the things that I think will allow me to be accepted by other people or to be able to make people like me. And so I've caught myself so many times thinking, oh, well, I should go play pickleball and I should go over to this church and I should just kind of put myself out there, which, you know, I think it's great to put yourself out there and do fears. But I've done these things so many times and I haven't gotten results to where it's like, why not put yourself out there in things that you enjoy? Like you brought up golf, like that's something that I enjoy. It's just been it's been way more expensive down here. And with my previous mindset, I liked golf when I played well. And then when I didn't play well, I didn't like golf so much.
Yeah.
So I'm really trying to be more focused on enjoying the present moment of golf. And for me, a lot of it had to do with I was out golfing by myself. I was trying to be a perfectionist and be the best that I possibly could. And it meant a lot of alone time. So I wasn't really with people or anything like that. Where now, if I can have it be more of a social event where you're going out, and I just thought so many things in my head, like how golf, it was always fun. Like, I don't know if you remember, I got that one little snake and I was bringing that and like pranking people when we were going to the golf course. Josh and Isaac, you don't remember
I
that?
don't remember that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got like a little snake, and I would, when they were up hit by the tee box, I would go put it over there by their cart, which it only works, you know,
The first
once,
time,
and
yeah.
then yeah, the first time, and then it doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess maybe I didn't play it on you for some
Huh.
reason. I thought I did, but yeah.
But I mean, yeah, just it can be just the little stuff, but I think my way of thinking about it is it's just if you're going to work and you don't like work, that's one thing. Try to do something, try to make a living in something that you're passionate about. But if not, then you have to have something else. Like if work isn't cutting it, you have to have some thing after or before work that you at least enjoy doing to make life worth living. And I don't know, I find myself, if I don't do anything before or after work and work is just like a crappy day, I find myself just like, why am I doing this to myself? Like, what is the point of living if I'm working at a job that I don't like working and there's nothing else outside of that? Like, it seems like the worst possible outcome to me.
If I could go back to my younger self, go back to when I was your age, and give myself any piece of advice, it would be don't stay in a job that you hate. And I spent way too many hours, way too much time doing something like that. Now, I'm not going to say that you have to find a job that you love, but the jobs where I've actually enjoyed an aspect of them, or there's been something that I enjoyed, have been the jobs that I've stayed in a lot longer than I probably would now, because maybe they weren't fulfilling in certain aspects financially, or maybe towards like a passion or anything. There were certain aspects, and a couple of those aspects have to come from a team atmosphere. Like when I was working at the golf course down here, and then at Kendrick's, and even at Savory back in Michigan, being a waiter, being a delivery driver, and working in a golf industry where I was a caddy. I was also just working in the golf department where we had, what did we have, like 500 members? And so we were getting bags, and whenever a member would call, get the bag, put it on the cart, take it up to them, boom, 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 clean their clubs, like 36 holes. Like it was just organized chaos, but it was a team. It was a team of young guys just like myself. And so we made it fun and enjoyable. We were
Right.
always razzing each other, making fun of each other. And we weren't making the greatest money. And the hours were actually kind of sucky. It was grueling work because sometimes it was just nonstop, like just It was a lot. Same way with savory, man. Like when you just get busy and you're the only one there, and another waiter doesn't show up for work, and you're all there by yourself. It's like, oh man. But then sometimes it was like we all had the same experience. So sometimes that was that laughter and that camaraderie that just, wow, really helped. Even though it wasn't such the greatest work environment, it really helped to bring you some type of fulfillment and enjoyment, which I think kept me there longer than I probably would now.
Right. Yeah. And I guess it's kind of the inverse effect for me is I like what I do most of the time. Like I love working in construction and I like what I do most of the time. But then again, most of the time I'm working by myself and it's okay for a little while, but working by yourself all the time, every day, every week, that gets old real fast.
And that's again to contingent on your personality, which I'm actually surprised to hear you say that because it seems like you enjoy being by yourself more than I do.
Right. Yeah. Definitely. But I enjoy being by myself, but it's not something that I want. I don't want to be by myself all the time. I guess. I don't know. I enjoy being by myself sometimes or most of the time. But I mean, sometimes it's just nice to work with somebody and just have somebody there to at least, I don't know. When you're working with somebody, it's like almost a competition. And when you're by yourself, you lose that. And it's like, well, if I don't do it, nobody else is going to do it. So I guess I have to. There's that. But other than that, I don't know.
Yeah, and that 100% resonates with me. Like I connect with that a lot. Even I was even thinking today, like our energies,
Mhm.
like we're emotions. Like I always feel like I'm just like super energetic, like there where you're just more even keel. Like what do you think? Where do you think that comes from? And when you're that even keel, like it's hard for me to see when you're passionate about
Mhm.
something. Where like when I'm passionate about something, like my facial
Yeah.
expressions, when I like there's something that I don't think is very intelligent that someone says, or I'm pissed off or something. Like you
Yeah.
can tell
Yeah.
it in my face. Like you
Definitely.
just know what I'm thinking. Like there's no questioning. Where for you, I'm just like, I don't know how he's feeling about this.
Yeah, I don't really know where that stems from, I guess. I think we talked about it with Phil a little bit, but I guess further than that, I don't really know where that comes from. But yeah, we're
Yeah, it's
very polar opposites pretty much. You are you show your expression on your face with your body. I show my expression very, very little. My emotions very little with my expression.
yeah, and like that's like for me, like if I'm trying to figure out like something that you want to do, I have a hard time doing it because I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know if he's gonna like it. Like, I don't know if he's having fun. Like
Mhm.
I don't know. Like whereas me, like you know damn well if I'm having fun or if
Mhm.
it's just like something I don't want to do anymore.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why I am like that. But yeah, I could be having the best time ever and I probably wouldn't say anything, or I could be having the worst time ever. And after a little while, I would say something like, "Hey, this kind of sucks. Let's stop doing this." But yeah, if I'm having a lot of fun, I'm not going to
Okay.
go outward and say, "Oh, I'm having a blast." It's like I guess that's not really something that I do, I guess. I don't know.
And I'm similar to you in like being in a job that I don't enjoy. I'm not like passionate about
Mhm.
helping people find an apartment when
Mhm.
there's 5 or 6 other apartment complexes here in South Florida that are
Yeah.
you can find a 2 bedroom for $3,000, and it's just like, okay, that one has this amenity and we have this amenity, and
Mhm.
it's like, dude, you want to live here or not?
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
That's where it's just I was like, okay, I'm not really helping people, but this, oh man, so over Christmas, my leasing agent,
Mhm.
she put in her 2 week notice, like the days before Christmas, and I was
Mhm.
like, okay, and I wasn't told about it until like the week of that. It was
Mm.
like her last week, so New
Right, right.
Year's. It's like, okay, so like, what's happening? Because this is the only person that works Saturdays. Chad doesn't work Saturdays, and Chad said that when we started here,
Yeah.
want to work Saturdays. And so then the property manager, like the person above me, was working Saturdays, and he was like not having it. And so finally,
Oh.
I was like, next, and I was like, okay, I'll help, and like we'll start doing this. But my one thing was like, listen, guys, like I don't want to work Saturdays. I will come in and work Saturdays, but the gym doesn't open until 9 o'clock. We open at 10 o'clock, so I need to come in at like 12:30, and I'll come in. And so that's how it's been. And so finally, I was like, listen, we got to find somebody. We got to hire somebody because
Mhm.
I can't do 324 units leasing, trying to come up with resident events and all this. I was just getting so overwhelmed, dude. So, oh, dude, a month ago, I put a posting on Indeed. We start taking
Mhm.
people. I start phone interviewing them and then setting up for in-person interviews. We do the in-person interviews. We get 4 or 5 decent candidates. One who seems like he's going to be reliable. He's going to work weekends, going to show up. And so he's like, okay, yeah, I'm going to take the job, but I need to give my current employer 2 weeks. It's like, all right, that's respectable. Okay. So this week I was like, hey, like I talked to my property manager. I was like, all right, so he's starting next week. He's like, yeah, he's starting next Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, I hear the manager just back there swearing. He's like, what the hell? What? Wait.
The
He's
guy
like,
you just hired?
no, my manager.
Oh,
He's
okay.
like, he's like, that's not accepting the job. And I was like, wait, what? He's like, no, he said he's not coming. I was like, he's not coming. Like, that would have been nice to know before we started his 2 week notice at script
Yeah.
job to where we thought, like, oh, okay, we only have a week left and he's going to be here next week. He's like, yeah. Like, and so then I had to go back and start calling all the other people, some of them that found jobs. And it's just like,
Oh my.
dude, what a jackass. Like,
Yeah.
how do you go and tell them you're going to work and then not like we had to reach out to him? It was about like getting some of the final paperwork filled out.
Uh-huh. He's like, "Oh
Oh,
yeah, I'm
dude.
not working anymore."
Yeah, no, just don't need it. No.
No
But
thanks.
for me, it's like this job doesn't hit a lot of factors and what brings me passionate, but it brings me a lot of stability. I do very, very well here. There seems to be an opportunity to be able to grow into the future, into a future position. But as I started looking at it, it's like, do I want to grow into a future position in this industry?
Mm,
And the answer to that question is no.
yeah.
And so I spoke to you about, dude, like, how am I going to get excited about golf again? And I said, maybe if I go buy some new golf clubs, like, I'll get
Mm,
excited about golf. And then just that thought had me go out and hit balls. And then I went out
right.
and the wind was at my back and I was hitting balls. And so I was hitting like
Yeah.
everything great. And so I was
Yeah.
like, oh, yeah, like,
Yeah, yeah.
let's start golf again. And, it's just those types of things. And then I was from this YouTube video about someone who has taken a stance on health and fitness to where they're getting their blood work done and they're looking at gene mutations and how
Mhm.
our gene mutations keep us from being able to essentially break down foods properly, and gene mutations also inhibit us from having the right nutrients inside of our bodies. So if we know what our gene mutations are, we can help to just break down food better and have a healthier and active lifestyle. And so I've just been like delving into this, dude. And it's like, wow, this is awesome. Like,
Mhm.
I love fitness, I love health, and this is something that if I can get it right and I can figure it out, I can help people with, and I can help them like live a better life. It's like, oh, dude, like this is really, really great. So
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, eventually the goal for me is to just make my work something that I'm passionate about, but for the time being, just at least have something that I'm passionate about and just come home and be able to, I don't know, find purpose in other ways. Like the saying of work to live, don't live to work. And it's like, yeah, I mean, is there for you to be able to sustain yourself, to support your living habits, and it's not a life or death thing. It's and then I bring up the studies of like all those people that get cancer and then they get told you have 6 months to live, 8 months to live, you have a year to live or whatever. And then they go and they're like, okay, screw this. I'm quitting my job and I'm just going to go do what I want to do. Like, I want to spend the last year of my life doing what I love. And then it's like their cancer goes into remission and it's like stress plays such a huge role on your physical health, and like people consider it pseudoscience almost to, I don't know, just that your emotions play such an important role in your health and healing and medicine. And it's all about like I think a big thing is because all of the people with good vibes and good energy and trying to make that like a medicine. And it's like, but it's true. It's like your emotional health carries over to your physical health. And it's like pretty direct. Like all of your hormones and your cortisol levels and everything, it's like that's reflected from stress and what you're doing every day and how you're eating. And it's not only like your health isn't just chance. I mean, there's so many things that you can do. And it's just trying to set myself up to live the most happy life that I can live while sustaining my lifestyle, while trying to make future goals and set a pathway for my, I guess, my future occupation to be something that I actually like doing. Not to say that I don't like doing what I'm doing, but just, I don't know, it could definitely feel better.
And I think the important thing is to realize that this could look different for everybody. Is that we all have different goals, we all have different circumstances, and just because this is what my life looks like and what I want it to look like, it doesn't line up with what someone else thinks it should look like. That's okay. Like, I think there's let's take Miami, Florida, for example. Very, very expensive place to live in terms of apartment rental. Like I said, a one bedroom here at this property, $2,300 a month is the cheapest one bedroom you can get. And I'm talking 760 square feet, like not super big. Okay. You pay $25 a month on top of that for trash, $6 a month for pest control. You pay your own water and sewer, your own electricity, cable, internet, like not cheap. Inside of that, it's like, how much does an individual have to make? Because in order to qualify to live here, you have to make 3 times the rent in order for us to even allow you to be approved to live here. So there you're looking at $6,900 a month is what an individual has to make to live here at my building. At a one bed, like one person that's making a lot of money. So that's stressful right there, realizing that's how much money I have to make to even be able to have an apartment. So like, let's just forget about me, like finding something I'm passionate about. Let's go out there and figure out where I can make the money and how many hours I have to work in order to even make that much money.
Right.
And so that's what's hard, dude. Like, yeah, you can go back to a place like Michigan and, live a lot less. But I think about it, and I think we're going to get into this as well, is like, okay, like how many times can I go outside in Michigan a year when here I can go outside every single day other than the days that it's like going to be a hurricane or just absolutely windy out. Like sometimes during the summer I complain about how hot it is. But it's just, that idea of passion and working towards something, that's where I think it's just really important to have a well-rounded idea of it, not just only being your job, but also being able to maybe have like the side jobs, like this podcast, dude. Like this is something that I'm really passionate about. I enjoy having conversations. I enjoy asking people questions. I enjoy connecting with people. And would it be cool if this turned into something in the future to where I could make a living from it? Yeah, I would love that. But as of right now, it's just an opportunity for me to dive into something that I am passionate about. One of the second things as I brought up is that I love people. But in the way that I grew up, I didn't have a lot of confidence. And so I had insecurities. And so I guess really approaching people, and I wasn't very good with speaking. Like it's taken me a lot to really work on my vocabulary and being able to communicate well. So I just always felt kind of uncomfortable where I wanted to talk to people. I just didn't really know how. And I've caught myself in my adulthood life, like not knowing how to approach people, always worrying about I might offend someone. And then as I've found more confidence and I've had more things that I'm passionate about that I enjoy, I found myself just being way more easygoing and a lot less
Mm.
stressed on myself
Mm-hmm.
and how I even deal with maybe clients or customers and just like, hey, like, what if? Oh, I remember someone was saying something like, I don't know, it said something. I was like, I said something like that just because they were
Right.
like they couldn't remember their apartment number or something
Mm.
like that, and I was like, 448, 446, 442. Like, I was like, trying to guess off the top of my head
Right.
because, but it was just like, previously I would be like, oh, dude, like my sense of humor just couldn't come out and be explosive without having any cares about how it's going to be received. And obviously, you have to have
Right.
some
Right.
type
Right.
of a filter
Yeah.
to where you're not just being super offensive. But most of the time, I can be pretty creative with my humor and just bring people smiles and happiness. And so I've been really proud of myself and being able to just grow and do that, dude. Like it's awesome to be proud of yourself.
Right. Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, I think for me, this podcast has not necessarily expanded my vocabulary, but just the ability to put across ideas and just the way that I think about things and being able to vocalize them. I it yeah, I've seen a lot of improvement just me even speaking my thoughts and just because with the podcast, it's you have these thoughts and you want to bring them up, and it's like, okay, well, why not bring them up? It's not like anybody's gonna sit there and say, oh, that's a stupid idea. It's like, okay, you're the only other person here, so. But just I don't know, the ability to communicate, I guess. It's not something that I worked on a whole lot when I was growing up. So just this podcast and the ability to put my thoughts into words is something I never really had to worry about a whole lot. I mean, I would think about things a lot longer before I said them just because I don't know that it was necessarily fear of people judging what I said or thought, but just I don't know. I'm a lot better at articulating and the ability to do it quickly, I guess, or just on the spot or more naturally maybe.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. It's the ability to be able to articulate your thoughts, one, come up with a thought, one, be able to think about how to explain it in a very organized and efficient way, and then to come up with it off the top of a cuff live. Whereas oftentimes in school, right, when we're doing some type of a presentation, it's regurgitating something that we've written down and we've read over, like, tens of maybe, if not 20 times to go up in
Mhm.
front of a class and then present it. And I think that's one of the things that I've enjoyed about improv so much that I prefer now to be able to have a couple little small topics and
Mhm.
then to just see where the conversation goes based off of those small topics instead
Mhm.
of having everything written down. I feel like when I've written stuff down for a podcast, whether I'm trying to interview a person or get through a podcast, that I have like these 10 things and I feel like I have to get through all 10 of these things. It's like, okay, well, how do I transition from this to that? And when so doing, sometimes I'll catch myself being in those in that mind or that thought process
Mhm.
where I'm not paying attention to what you or the guest is saying, to where I should actually just fully be present with you, listen to what you're saying, and
Mhm.
then we'll transition and we'll talk about the things that need to be talked about. And if we don't get to all these things, that's okay, but have a natural conversation. And I think
Mhm.
that's something that I've struggled with is that I'm trying to get through the list and I don't allow the natural conversation to flow freely because it's like, well, I didn't really talk about that. Whereas I've looked back on some of the people we've interviewed and I've realized, man, they were really passionate about that. And I missed it because I was trying to organize the podcast and come up with the future questions.
Hmm. Yeah, and I feel like just going with the natural flow of conversation, I feel like if you write too many things down and script it too much, it definitely leans hmm, it definitely seems as if it's predetermined or whereas just letting the natural flow of conversation go, it's more genuine and you delve deeper into actual thought rather than kind of going over the topics that were pre-written down.
But if you were to think about our dinner table at Savory, right, like where the whole family is there and we're all sitting there talking, I wouldn't say that there was a very natural way of what we all thought was a natural way to have a conversation, because just talking about different topics, I think, was more of a little bit more taboo, where it seemed like there was this idea that you don't talk unless you're spoken to, and that if you talk too much, that you're just a babbling idiot, and there's not really that much purpose in having conversation. And whereas today, when it comes to just talking or being around people, I love talking because it gives me so much more of an opportunity to be, one, to be able to learn stuff for myself, and two, to be able to learn about another person. Now, I think sometimes you can go too deep and you just ask questions that are really maybe too personal or too interrogative or something. But like, it seems to me like the whole purpose of life is being able to communicate and have connection with
Mm-hmm.
people. And one of the best ways of being able to do that is being able to understand what healthy conversation is. And so I've caught myself where sometimes I'll try to talk to people, I try to talk to people, I try to talk to people, and maybe they're just either an introvert or they don't like talking. And I've tried to force it, and then forcing that, I'm like, man, this person doesn't like me,
Mm.
or trying to push it towards like, I'm not going to go talk to other people, toward now it's just like, okay, next, next, next. Like, I go and I find the people who enjoy talking to me, and then we go and we talk instead of trying to force it or feeling like everybody is going to reject me like that first person. What are your thoughts on conversation? Because I think that you're less of a conversationalist than I am. And I wonder if you have an idea of like, is there a negative or a positive connotation with conversation that you have in your mind if you were to really think about that?
There's not necessarily a positive or negative connotation, but I think context matters. Like conversation is great, but it's not great all the time. Like when you need to focus on something very heavily, obviously conversation is going to distract you from focus unless the focus is on that conversation. Like if you're a surgeon and somebody just starts asking you about going through medical school and what that was like, it's like your focus is not going to be fully on that surgery. But just for social activities, I think conversation is great. Just if the conversation is not, if it's not like making fun of somebody or looking down on somebody, basically like bullying in a sense. Obviously, conversation is not great in that sense. But if it's like a net positive conversation for both people and both people are comfortable being in that conversation, I think it's just an all around positive experience. I mean, you learn so much about other people and you probably learn a whole lot about yourself too because you don't really express, I don't know. I feel like the way you talk to people, you say a lot of things about yourself that you may not think often, but then you say it and then you think about, because you're thinking it subconsciously, but it's never at the forefront of your mind. So having those conversations, you think about what that person brings to the table, but then you might say stuff that surprises you sometimes too, I guess.
And let's say the whole family was sitting there, all like 13 of us, right?
Mm.
And that you were in charge of entertaining everybody and getting the conversation going and being the conversationalist. How would that feel towards to you?
I feel like when I was younger, I would feel very awkward. But now it's like I kind of understand the dynamic of our family. And when there's that many people, there's not anything you really have to do to start a conversation. Somebody says one thing and then it builds off of each other. And then it's more small individual. It's like a bunch of small conversations. It's never one big conversation going around a big table and then, oh, you say what you think and you say what you think. It's I'm talking to Ashley for a little bit and then ha 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 ha. And then somebody else says something and I find that funny. So I interject. And then it's going from conversation to conversation and interacting with everybody, not necessarily simultaneously, but just one at a time or two at a time. And everybody, it's not like because I'm having a conversation with only Ashley or only you or only Josh or something. Nobody else is losing out on conversation because I'm singling out that person and having a personal conversation with that person because everybody else is doing the same thing. So I think that's kind of just how everybody meshes together.
Because I wonder if in today's day and age, as we have society and we have the social media and all of those things, if those types of things keep conversations at more of a minimum and maybe more of a fear of people being able to interact and share their stories and be vulnerable. Because when it comes to social media, there's people that are content creators and then consumers. And so the consumers seem to be the people who are do a lot of the talking, but then everybody else is just consuming. And maybe they'll send a couple of messages, but they're like, I don't ever want to be that.
Hmm.
I'm just going to be the one who's the consumer.
Hmm.
And, you know, I don't know. It's just very interesting to me. I think coming up from a family where what healthy communication was and healthy conversations, they felt like so difficult. It felt like I had to be like there were a lot of stipulations of what that meant, what I could say, what I couldn't say.
Hmm.
And so sometimes it was easier just to not say anything to maybe keep from getting in trouble or keep from offending people or to keep from maybe getting made fun of or to feel like where I had something positive to say to bring to the conversation.
Hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
Did you ever feel that?
I don't think so. I don't know. I just don't think I was necessarily very good at expressing my emotions and telling other people my thoughts. Like that's another thing is I'm very you could never tell my emotions from my face. And I think that kind of goes hand in hand with I didn't know how to articulate my thoughts, so that's kind of they kind of go hand in hand with each other. I didn't know how to express my emotions via my facial features, my body language, and I also didn't know how to express my thoughts via words and conversation. So it was just I was a very socially awkward, shy kid. So I don't necessarily think that was any blame to growing up. Maybe some subconscious things, but I think I was just not good at conversation because I never did it. So
Right, and that's exactly right. It's something you learn, just like when you go to school, just like when you learn to play baseball. Just it's something that you learn, right? And
mhm.
so, like, the more we get into this podcast, the more that you and I talk back and forth. Like, I've heard you become more vulnerable than I ever really would have expected you to become. And like, I know we started a family book club, and I think there's, and even inside of that, you could tell like the first book club, it was like people I could see that just like it was uncomfortable, it wasn't something that was natural, where for
Mhm.
me I'm just like I've been doing this for so long, and like I'm so willing to just be vulnerable because I know that I'm not perfect, I accept that I'm not perfect, and all my brothers and sisters are there, and like, hey, this is who I am, so it's much
Mhm.
easier for me to do that. But that vulnerability and those ways of being able to communicate, man, they're learned responses, and I don't
Mhm.
think I think maybe I put a bad impression of it as like, it's not so much that it was difficult to do, but my mind had a negative connotation with
Mhm.
conversation because I didn't know how to do it, and because I didn't know how to do it, I didn't practice. It was just like, okay, this isn't something that we do.
Right.
And as you see other families and other people doing, it's like, wow, that looks really cool and it feels really good. So I got to figure out how I can have that natural, healthy conversation because that's what life's about, man.
Mhm. Yeah. And I guess huh, I don't know why I don't know why it was so hard for me growing up because I mean when you went out to the store, when you went anywhere, it's like mom and dad ran into all of these people and they would always have these conversations about this and that and whatever for who knows how long, and they were very, it felt like they were very social in that sense, and it just seemed like I did not because I don't know, I feel like I was just around a lot of older people than me. Not necessarily a lot older, but even if it was just like Isaac and Josh's age, it's like that's a lot older. The difference when you're my age now and their age is very minimal and it doesn't really matter. But the difference in that age when you're 10 years old and you're going hanging out with people that are 17, 18, it's a very big difference. Like you grow a lot in those years. So it's like you don't have any similarities to talk about. It's like I'm not just gonna walk up to them and be like, "Hey, what's your guys' favorite Pokemon?" And they're gonna be like, "Get the hell out of here," you know? It's very different. Like, yeah.
But even kids your own age, you were still, and I think this is the biggest thing that I see with all of that is that you grew up with people who were a lot older than you, and I think oftentimes it's that parental nature that we would take where it was just like, oh well, we can just help Jake with everything,
Mm,
right? And
mm-hmm.
so sometimes that was probably debilitating to you, where it's just like, no, like let the kid speak for himself, like let Jake order his own food, let him speak, let him mess up, let him say these types of things. And I think as I think about having kids and that desire, I realize how important it is not to speak up for them or tell them what they should say. Like sometimes when we're back home with Emily, it's just like, oh well, tell them yes, tell them thank you. I've caught myself just like let Emily answer the question.
Mm-hmm.
Like give her some time because she's not going to be able to rattle it off the top of her tongue
Right,
like
right,
you and I.
right.
Just give her time, give her some quiet space, give her some calmness, and let her speak. And
Right.
so I think oftentimes we as adults, we just want to be like, okay, well, what is it? Like, oh, tell them this, tell them that. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, no, just be okay with the
Mm-hmm.
quiet.
Right. Yeah, that's very hard to
And I
do.
think,
Oh, that's
yeah, as
awesome.
a society, I think we always want to give the answer. Like, we know, well, I know what the answer is. I know what she likes, so I'm going to tell you.
Right,
It's
right,
like,
right.
I know you know what the answer is. Like, I know. But this is how we grow those kids. And so when you talk about like things that you're passionate about, that's like children, I'm so passionate about that. I can't wait to have kids, and it excites me because their little brains are just like working and learning, and they just have so much energy, and it seems like love and excitement for life that it's just like it just fills a room with joy
Mm-hmm.
and passion, man. I just absolutely love that. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm. And you're bringing up the topic of kids. It's like I heard something this week that is so cliche to say, and I hear it all the time, and I never really understand it. It's it's people always saying like, "Oh, wait to have kids till you're older until you've done all the things that you want to do because if you have kids now, then they're going to hold you back and you're going to lose all your freedom and you're never going to." It's like it's like that makes absolutely no sense to me, you know? It's my way of looking at it is if I have a child now, I'm not going to be present with that child and think, oh man, I sure wish I could be in the Bahamas right now. It's like I'm not losing out on that freedom. It's like it's a very different experience. And yeah, you may be able to prefer one or the other, but it's like why do people actually feel that way about their kids? Like, do they feel regret about having kids because they wish they could be at the bar having beers or something? It's like I don't feel like when you have kids you should lose feel like you're losing that freedom. It's just opening a new avenue for life, I guess.
And I think that's the struggle, right? Is that there's a balance of being able to understand who you are and being able to be good stewards of your resources and just be responsible.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I'll be honest with you, Jake, like over the last year and a half, I would say that I really struggled with knowing all of those things. And it's not until like just being alone and continuing to ask myself deeper questions and to go through that journey of the pain and the healing and the back and forth and understanding who I am to where now I can say, okay, that time out at maybe let's say the bar and like being able to be with friends, it's like maybe it's not so much the ability to be with friends, but it's to be able to laugh
Mm-hmm.
and have joy. And if you take the time to learn how to educate your kids properly and to be able to discipline them properly, that you could have that same joy and excitement in them. But I think sometimes in society as we've grown up, it's like, oh well, the kids have to have a babysitter. We separate kids from adults. The kids don't go with the parents, and they're over there, and they're just here to learn and to grow, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like they're not here to connect. They're not here to share in those special moments,
Mm-hmm.
those hugs, the laughter, the excitement. And I think something that was very special to our family is the huge role that sports played in our lives. And Dad loves sports, and so I think that's where if we have Ashley on the podcast, that maybe she struggled a little bit because she wasn't super into sports, so she
Mm-hmm.
didn't get to have that maybe as meaningful connection with Dad and with her parents as we all got to have because we just shared in athletics. And so it was like Dad didn't want to be anywhere else than one of our games.
Mm-hmm.
And we as kids didn't really want to be anywhere else other than home or playing at the house or playing video games or just playing.
Mm-hmm.
And it was that sense of play that always went on. And I think, as you talk about like adults, as it's really difficult. It's really easy as an adult to just be responsible, to come up and to lose that sense of play completely
Mm-hmm.
and to have this mindset. It's like, well, the cost of living is super high. And so now I got to go to work and I got to do stuff I don't want to do. And so you live that, you lose that freedom of being able to have purpose and just to do things you enjoy because you've created this system of where you got to make money and you got to do this and there's that stress and that pressure and it just can get very very burdensome. So I don't look down on people who have the struggles. It's just trying to figure out like how to so what's a good term, how to have a good use of your time to be able to feel fulfilled, to have a family and to be able to still enjoy life like personally for yourself.
Right.
I think with going to a bar, you have to ask yourself a deeper question, like, what is it that this is really doing for you? Because it's not
Mm-hmm.
going to a bar; it's something else, and you got to figure out where you could replace that something else in your current situation in your current life. Because it can come. It's not from drinking. It's not from that. Maybe it's being social, and maybe it's going out with your kids and being social at a playground with other people.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's what it is, and finding what that is.
Right. Yeah. I just my struggle was just that thought of people holding it against their kids for them losing that freedom, and it was just kind of mind-boggling to me. It's just I don't know. It's just like having a child is such a privilege and such an amazing experience, I feel like that I feel like I wouldn't trade that for anything else. But I guess priorities differ from person to person, but I don't know. That was just my 2 cents on that.
And see, so something like that is where old Chad would have went and tried to diagnose that and figure out the solution to that problem. To one, make it make sense for me so I can understand where they're coming from. Two, to be able to be empathetic. Three, to be able to think, oh well, maybe they're right, maybe I'm wrong. And to where now I don't allow those types of things to restrict Chad and who I am. Where something like that goes is like, huh, I know what my value system is. That's weird. doesn't make sense to me. And it's just in here and out there. It's like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
not good. That's not how it's going to be here. And I'm going to keep going on enjoying life instead of allowing those types of things to inhibit me and my mind and my thought process to where I get stuck, dude. And I'm super grateful for that, because I would hear like things around the public or those types of things. It's like, I don't know, how could someone do that? It's like,
Mm-hmm.
now it's like, huh, I don't know. I don't get how they do it. It's like, okay, next thing.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Man, that's where me and overthinker tendencies, I would just go down to a deep, dark hole and start
Mm-hmm.
questioning myself. It's like, oh, should I feel that way? Why don't I feel that way? And it's like, oh, dude, that's really bad, Chad.
Yeah. 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 It's definitely a steep slope.
But you also brought up the thing with stress and anxiety. And as I do further research, I start, and dude, actually, as I've changed my nutrition, like I think I told you a year and a half ago, I stopped drinking. So I haven't had alcohol in over a year and a half. And so my joints feel great. Like I don't have any of that. And that was a progress because last January, I gave up all sugar, no candy. I think I told you pie for my birthday. So that
Mm-hmm.
was it. That's the only type of hard sugar I've had in the last almost 2 years now, dude.
Mm. Well,
Yeah, really happy. And like my inflammation is almost gone. And then this year I gave up ketchup at the very start of the year. And then probably almost a month ago or over 2 months, dude, I no longer eat French fries at night too. And dude,
mm.
it's just amazing. Like how much better I'm feeling. And I've introduced a little bit more fat into my diet. And so I've started having eggs, mainly because they were completely out of egg whites
No.
about 3 weeks ago. And so I started eating eggs. It's like, man, dude, I'm starting to feel way better. My mental clarity is starting to come back. I'm able to speak a little bit better. And I was
Mm.
just deprived of fats. Like I was trying to keep my diet so strict and so clean without having fat in it, to
Mm.
where it was really, I think, affecting my mind and that. So it's just amazing the role that nutrition plays on our mental state, dude. It's mind blowing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it just
I mean,
affects
I
how
don't
you
know. Have you
feel.
ever thought about that? Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it affects how you feel, like your gut biome. It definitely plays a role, and like especially after you eat like a Taco Bell or something, and then you go home and your stomach's hurting. It's like, oh man, and then but it it plays on your mind too. It makes you not want to do anything. It makes you want to sit there and kind of loathe in that stomach ache, and it leads to lack of production. It leads to so many things. Whereas if you're eating clean, your life cleans itself up. Like it gives you more motivation to do things. It makes you want to get more sunlight. It makes you want to do all these things.
Yeah, and I think that's my biggest thing is just setting yourself up for the best possible outcome with one, the food that you put into your body, two, with the job that you have, the passions that you have, asking yourself the deeper questions, the people that you surround yourself with on a daily basis. Like all of these things affect like the outcome of your life and where your mood is or what your enjoyment level for it will be. And I know you were talking like winter, like, and how that like can just really
Mm.
affect you, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's like the whole idea of wintertime blues and the lack of sunlight and the amount of clouds and just that mopey feeling you get when it's rainy and snowy and cloudy and there's no sun. It's you're vitamin D deficient and you lose so much energy. Like we get energy from the sun. Like it's silly to it sounds silly to say, but it's like the sun powers us. Like it gives us so much energy and it makes you want to get more sunlight. And just that feeling of it's finally getting warm again. And last week it was in the 60s pretty much, or I guess this week it was in the 60s pretty much like all week. And it's just I'm driving around outside with the windows down and it's like it feels good to be outside, you know? Rather than, oh my gosh, it's negative 10 degrees out. I got my coveralls on, I got long johns on and my winter coat, and it's like, man, this is not enjoyable, but it just makes that springtime that much sweeter because it's like, oh my gosh, I'm out in a short sleeve t-shirt and I'm out enjoying the sun, and it's like, sure, I could be out shoveling holes for 3 hours, but I don't care. It's very nice out. So I'm gonna I'm gonna take it as I can get it, I guess.
And I'm so far removed from that to where I'm just like, I've thought about like, you know what, maybe could I move back to Sturgis? Like, yeah, I could. And then I hear you saying like these types of things, like, holy cow, dude! Like, I can go outside every day, go put my feet in the sand, go walk, get some sun, like have a natural tan, like have the windows down. In the summer, it gets really, really hot to where it's like, oh, dude, this is like unbearable, so hot out. But it's just like, yeah, that cold, dude. Like, I think also it has a little bit to do probably with your career,
Right.
where if you were able to be more in like a heated area,
Right.
get around and active and walking, it wouldn't be so bad. But you're out. I remember doing construction, being out like a roof and having the
Yeah.
wind blowing.
Yeah. 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 Some days it gets pretty rough.
And then not only that, but like oftentimes, maybe in the summer you're out walking, you're out playing sports, and so you're losing weight. And then in the winter, if you're not super strict with your diet or you're not
Hmm.
really doing any type of cardio, like you're going to put on weight, and maybe you're not going to feel good. And then once you start putting on weight, then maybe you get less restrictive with your diet, kind of let
Hmm.
that go a little bit, and it just can be a huge snowball effect. And I think one of the things that's been nice over the course of the winter is that our whole family all bought those Oculus headsets. So like at least on Sunday, it's been giving us something to do. And what's cool about the Oculus headset is that you turn that on and it's like you can be anywhere. Like
Hmm.
you're at a miniature golf course that does have sun and is overlooking
Hmm.
an island, or there's pirates or space or whatever. So it
Yeah. Yeah.
can take you to essentially another place,
Yeah. Definitely.
even though it's winter.
Yeah. And I think when wintertime comes, you definitely need something to put your time towards because you don't want to be outside, and you can't just go outside and play tennis in the wintertime when there's a foot of snow on the ground. It just doesn't work. And just driving on my way home or on my way to one of the job sites or something, just seeing people playing golf, it was just after so long of it being cold out, and it was like, oh, it's golf season, it's back. Just, I don't know, just that feeling of it was gone for so long, but it always comes back around, and the sun comes, and I don't know, it just makes you appreciate it.
And what's funny is that you guys all live up there, and I live down here. And every single year, I say, "You guys want to come visit? You guys want to come visit? You guys want to come visit?" And nobody ever wants to come down here and visit, but they'll piss and moan about how bad winter is and stuff. And it's like,
Yeah.
dude, you could be down here golfing like for a weekend, for 3 days.
Yeah.
It's like it's warm. We can play golf every single day. It's just, but it's just. I mean, would you say that you hate winter as much as you hate traffic or being around large groups of people?
No, definitely not. I mean, there's a lot
You don't
of
hate winter that.
no. I dislike working outside when it's feels like negative 20 degrees outside. That sucks balls. But I mean, there's a lot of stuff in the winter that's exclusive to winter, like snowboarding and like snowmobiling, and just when we used to go through the neighborhood and we took those trash can lids and we would like basically sled, like we would tie a rope to one of the trash can lids and pull it behind the truck and basically sled through the streets. It's like, you're not doing that in summertime. It's not working. Like there's exclusive stuff to winter that is enjoyable, but it's like some parts of winter suck. And like you were saying, some parts down there suck when it gets too hot and it's humid, and that sucks sometimes. It's just a trade off, I guess.
Yeah, and I guess when I think about those winter things, it's like, well, we can do all those things behind the book out here. It's just like put a tube to the
Right.
back of a boat, get jet skis, and okay, we'll do that during winter time. And instead of snow, it will be water.
You can't make a
might be a
snow
little bit harder
angel.
when you hit the no. Make a sand angel. You ever
Yeah,
seen one of those?
I have not. Have you ever seen a Sandman?
Like an ape?
Like a what?
I don't know what that is. I don't
Like
know what a
instead of a
sandman is.
snowman, like three little
Oh, yeah.
snowballs stacked on top of each other.
Three little sand castle balls
Yeah,
stacked up on each
I
other.
don't think it would work as well with sand though. That's kind of exclusive to snow.
Probably not.
Maybe not exclusive to snow,
I could
but
put a little bit of cement in there.
yeah. Yeah, that wouldn't be very enjoyable. But yeah, I mean,
So you
it's just a trade-off of yeah, this sucks for 2, 3 months out of the year, but there's also some things that are good about it and fun about it. I don't know. I feel like I appreciate spring and summer a lot more because of winter, whereas I feel like if it was summer and spring all year round, I wouldn't really appreciate it as much. That's kind of like the idea of being healthy. It's like you don't appreciate it until you're not healthy and you feel like crap and you're throwing up at 3 a.m. You all the only thing you can think about is I wish I was not sick right now. I wish I was healthy and I will be grateful for it for the rest of my life. And then you get sick and it's like, "Oh, I feel so," or you get healthy and you feel so great and a day later you forget all about it and it's like you take it for granted again. And it's yeah, just that mentality shift, I think.
No, that's so true. Because when you're healthy, right, it's like, okay, how can I better myself? What can I do tomorrow? What can I do? How do I do this?
Mhm.
And dude, I was sick last week, and it was like all I'm thinking about is trying to survive.
Yeah.
Like, how can Chad stay alive? Like,
Yeah.
please take more of this Sudafed. Please work. Please be able to think. Like, this is terrible.
Yeah.
This is miserable. And it's like I think that men going through sickness is a lot like women going through childbirth. Like they're
Well.
that comparable. Like when
Well.
a man gets a cold,
I don't know if I would necessarily go that far, but
my story, I'm sticking to it.
yeah, okay. Fair enough. If that's the hill you're gonna die
But
on.
when it comes to winter, for me, so down here, the like it's not gonna stay light as long, and so it gives way
Right.
more time for darkness. And for me in the winter, it's just a much larger opportunity to be able to learn, to be inside, whether it's reading a book, watching YouTube videos. I remember this winter, like I did a number of courses online and stuff.
Hmm.
So it was a really good opportunity to be able to still do some self improvement and personal development. Where
Hmm.
now in the summer, I'm excited that it's going to be more light, so I can go out and maybe meet more people and be able to
Hmm.
like down here. It's like I should have played golf during the winter and not the summer because it's going to
It's
be
gonna
like
be hot.
oh terrible.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Are you gonna be walking or carting? You're a walker, aren't you?
No, I would probably be karting, dude.
Uh
It's way too hot to be walking around.
yeah.
It's like 20 pounds around.
Yeah.
Golf's cheaper down here in the summer though, so that's the
Oh
one
really?
advantage. Is it? Yeah, and it's not as busy. But there's a reason it's not as busy because nobody else wants to be the idiot out there on the golf course just
Yeah.
sweating.
Yeah. And it's not
So
just because that it's hot, it's also very humid. And when you mix those two, it is sometimes unbearable. Like that sucks. The heat alone is one thing, but that humidity is it makes you sweat and you just don't stop sweating. You walk outside for 5 seconds and you feel like you're sweating and it's like, dude, this sucks. Like what's going on?
I know you're telling the guy who had a Polaris slingshot as a daily driver for the
Yeah.
last 2 years, dude. No
Yeah.
matter where I wanted to go, whenever I wanted to go there. That's why during the summer it was like I planned my trips to not really be more than 15 minutes. And if I got stuck in traffic, I was super
Oh,
pissed
right.
because not only hot, but it's like all the heat is also right there, kind of coming off the motor,
Right.
and there's no AC, and it's just like this is terrible. And then you get hurricane season, and it just starts raining out of nowhere, and you're sitting
Oh,
there
right.
like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So it's like I had to be careful. Like I would actually like plan my outfit. It's just like, okay, if there's any chance of rain, I'm gonna wear shoes that like are almost already destroyed, or I'm gonna have
Uh,
sandals in the back compartments. I want to whip those out real quick.
right.
Have a rain suit, and yeah, dude, it was mix that with humidity and then the rain and all
Yeah.
that. Oh man.
Yeah. Yeah. That
So,
calls.
what excites you about? We want to talk about getting back into golf. Like, why do you think you got out of golf, and what excites you about getting back into it?
Um, I got out of golf probably because I just didn't like playing it alone. Playing it alone, it's like the same thing as working. It's like, yeah, working alone's great sometimes, but sometimes you just want to socialize and work alongside somebody. I don't think golf is much different. Playing by yourself, going out and practicing, working on your swing, hitting putts, it's great for practice and you can play a round or two every here and there, but if you're golfing by yourself 24/7, and it's like obviously if you're a professional, you're going to have to learn to love golfing by yourself. But I'm not trying to be a professional. I'm trying to just have fun with it. Sure, I want to get better, but I don't want to be golfing by myself all the time. So that's probably why I got out of it. But I feel like, I don't know, I'm just excited to play golf again. I don't know. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos on just golfing, and it's like, man, I wish I could be golfing right now, but I can't because it's snow on the ground. I just think
And you're
golf
working.
is, yeah,
You have a job.
yeah. I think it's just so satisfying. Golf is, it can be so satisfying. Like just hitting the middle of the face on a driver, hitting a nice drive right down the fairway, and it is a great feeling. Except for when you shank it and or you slice it two fairways over, then it's like that. Yeah, that sucks. But if you make a 15-foot putt for triple bogey, it's like, yeah, the triple bogey sucks. But making that putt, that was a great feeling. But I don't know. It's just the little things about golf, I guess, and not taking it too seriously to the point
See, what's
where,
interesting is that I think both aspects of golf is one is that you can always go out and play it by yourself. You don't have to have people with you, but then you can go out and make it be a social event where again it's probably going to be a maximum of three other people that are there with you. But it's not only that, but you're never really playing against the
right?
people that are there with you. You're playing against the course and trying to figure out what's the best way to score well on the course. Obviously, you want to have a better score than everybody else, but so many people are at just different levels of where
Mm-hmm.
they are with their skill set.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think really makes it enjoyable. Especially you can go up like a basketball, right? You go play basketball. It's like most of the time you play one court, you play like all the courts. Maybe there's one that's on a boat or in the city or something like that where it's like you have places down here where they're right on the ocean and they have alligators and they
Mm-hmm.
have water and they have trees all over the place, which sometimes makes it not much fun if you
Yeah.
ever play. I was just playing like absolute dog crap,
Yeah.
hitting it all over the place, hitting towards houses, hoping you don't break a window,
Mm-hmm.
like losing 100 balls around. Where you go back
Yeah.
home and it's like there's the course that's just flat and just hit it anywhere you want and go find it and then hit it again. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
hey, I shot 81. It's like, yeah, down here you don't do that. Like you don't shoot 81 if you play like absolute misery. You shoot
Yeah.
130.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's another thing about golf that's even if you are playing with somebody who is a lot better than you, there's a fairly decent handicap system that, hey, you get two strokes on this hole because you are a 20 handicap and I'm whatever. It evens the playing field out a lot. Whereas if you go play one on one in basketball, Michael Jordan's gonna beat me every single time without fail. Whereas if Tiger Woods is giving me six strokes on a hole, I might be able to beat him sometimes, but I don't know. It's just the handicap system balances out that large skill gaps in friend groups, I feel like, if used properly.
So you think Michael Jordan could beat you at a game of one-on-one right now at his age?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Uh,
You don't you don't think he could beat you?
Not me, but I want
No way.
better than you.
You're delusional.
Dude, he's like 55.
So what? You don't think Michael Jordan could beat you in one-on-one?
No, I'm
You're
pretty much one of
crazy.
the best shooters.
You're crazy. Right. Oh, you think Tiger Woods could beat you at golf, though? You think you'd probably beat him, too?
Like right now?
Yeah, yeah. Maybe if
I
you
don't know.
practiced a little.
If he gave me like 6 strokes, it'd probably be an
Yeah.
even match.
Yeah, over the whole 18. Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
No, but I think golf, the mental approach is also something where, dude, like you can get in your own head, whereas most other sports, it's like you can pass the ball around and be like, okay, I'm shooting like crap. Like,
Right.
let's get the ball to Jake and hit it like let's work around him. Where it's just like, dude, you got a driver in your hand and you just hit it right in the woods the last 3 holes. Like,
Yeah.
because I'm not guaranteed this is going right in the woods.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, it's going left in the water because you're so in your head
Yep.
about not hitting it right that you're gonna turn your hands over and just flip it into the water. Like,
Yeah. That's one thing about watching John Daly golf. It's just like he's just there to have a good time. He can hit one in the water, doesn't care. It's not getting in his head. He's just out there having a good time. And it's like that will get in your head so fast, and if you let it get in your head, it will eat your round. You can go from shooting a nice 80 to you're shooting 100 plus just because that one bad drive and that's all you can think about. And when that's all you can think about, that's what you do every single time. And then you aim your feet 25 degrees to the left in because you've been slicing them, and then you don't realize that you're actually properly aligning yourself when you do that, and then you hit one nice and straight, but it's 200 yards to the left because you don't understand what's wrong with your swing, and then you're just getting mad, and yeah, it snowballs very fast.
so I have something to tell you.
Yeah.
You may not know this, but John Daly had this little secret called
Right. Yeah, that's fair.
drink the crap ton, and he probably didn't remember half the stuff he was doing. Dude, that's why like people who drink alcohol, it's just like their inhibitions, their insecurities, their self-confidence, like it's just like, yeah, I'm gonna hit this one 300. Like, that's what you just hit in the
Yeah.
like you get a 10 foot. But it's like, yeah, okay, well, like, I
Yeah.
mean, dude, like it's just
That's true.
it's like that's what's great about golf is that it's not really an athletic sport to where you can drink during it. Like if you go out and drink while you're playing basketball, like there's a good chance you're probably gonna throw up
Yeah.
or be dizzy and not be able to play defense,
Yeah.
and you're gonna be useless. Or you translate that to golf, and you might be a pretty damn good player. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
get a little bit of buzz.
Yeah, that's very true.
Oh,
I guess I never really thought about it like that. But yeah.
yeah, and then who knows if he was on any drugs or anything like that? But dude, that dude drank. I mean, he
Yeah.
still
Oh yeah,
drinks. Like, and it's not just a little bit; it's a lot of it.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. That's fair.
but I don't know. For me, I'm just excited about like. I think it's all the aspects of golf. Like putting in short game is something that I could just do for days and days. Like you talk about wanting to be around people. Like, dude, just put me out on a great short game facility. Like, I don't need to have anybody around you. Put me in a bunker. You give me like 100-yard in shots, and it's just like me trying to make them make, hit it close to the hole. I just love it, dude. Like that's the most hitting the driver like far and off the face. It's fun, but dude, like making shots from out of a bunker or chipping in or just hitting like making something from 80 yards. Oh, dude, like that's just so much fun for me. I just it's awesome.
Yeah. That's another thing about golf is just the short game. If that's what you're good at, that's fun. The long game, if that's what you're good at, it's fun. And if you're not good at anything, you just kind of hope for a good shot. And when you hit a good shot, it just feels good. So you want to keep going.
But then again, like that's the other thing about golf is that you're going to have the elements, right? So like if there's a windy day, like you can't just if you hit it high like me, like you're gonna struggle. So you have to be able to learn how to hit it lower, which is very,
Right.
very difficult. Like it's just like I don't want to do that, but it's like Chad, you got to do that.
Yeah.
Figure out how to do it, and then you have holes that don't set up for your swing. So some
Right,
people
right, right.
usually everybody usually has a tendency to where they hit it a little bit right or they hit it a little bit left. And so it's like, like you were talking about, maybe you're not having a good shot. It's like, well, hopefully at one point during the round, there's going to be a hole that sets up for your
Yeah.
40-yard slice. And so that
Yeah.
you can still do it. It's like, yeah, I hit it in the fairway.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully that one hole that you don't just like
A
hit
miracle
the
hit it straight.
opposite way. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or one of our favorite skills was going out to after a like league or something like that of old rich players and just going out and looking for golf balls the whole time and
Yeah.
trying to find whatever golf ball you could.
But yeah, the ability to shot shape is so important. Like on those holes, especially where if like it's a dog leg left and you hit a slice and you're right-handed, dude, you're screwed. Like you have to be able to hit it straight or hit a little bit of a draw, and if not, you better pull out your 4-iron or your 3-wood or whatever you can hit straight. If not, like just something to get it in the fairway, because you can't be slicing it 50 yards into the trees. It's gonna your round's gonna suck.
And hope you don't have to hit it over water with your 4-iron or your 5-iron.
Yeah,
If you do have to hit it over the water, that you can just hit it just far enough to get
Yeah.
over the water.
Yeah, no kidding.
So now it's like, okay, don't hit it right. Hit it more than 230 yards. Don't hit it as low because you can go in the water. It's just like all three of these things are now in your head about what you have to do, and it's just like, oh, holy cow! Versus going up there and trying to envision a shot and just doing it. One of the other things I think is really cool about golf is that you can just be an absolute mathematician and scientist when it comes to all the different aspects. Like Bryson DeChambeau, I don't know if you know who he is, but it's just like he's created this system of like he knows exactly how far to take it back on a 3-foot putt, a 5-foot putt, an 8-foot putt, a 10-foot putt. He has a system for how he reads the green, to how much it's going to break with his fingers by eyeing it. He walks up, he knows how much longer the hole is going to play by walking up and feeling the undulation with his feet. And then you go into the golf clubs, right? And so like drivers, they go from lofts all the way down from usually 8 degrees to 10 degrees. And now you can change the weights on them so that you can set it up to, if you do hit a slice, now you can make it to where either club closes quicker to hopefully you're hitting it straight. Or if you hit it low, you can move the weight forwards so that you're hitting it higher, or vice versa. And you can change the how high you hit it with the loft, and then you can change the flex of the shaft so that you can have a shaft that fits your swing. And then something else that I've realized that like DeChambeau and those guys are doing is, one, they have irons that are all the exact same length from their sand wedge all the way up to their 4-iron.
Right.
So it's like the same swing. They're getting used to the same swing. And two is the grip. And so changing your grip size, like having a smaller grip, having a bigger grip, so that if you're struggling, like turning, and it's just like there's so many different things that you can try and keep trying and being like this chemist to figure out, wow, okay, like how this works for you. So like you can have one guy who drives like this and chips like this, and he's figured out all these things that like work specifically for him. And his swing may look so like unnatural or anything like that, but it's like it's his, and it's almost like an artist, right? Like taking some type of creativity or pride in your artwork.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, especially if you're just an entry-level golfer and you get those dog-leg lefts and you hit a just straight slice, it's like, how are you going to learn to shot shape when you're just focusing on hitting the ball more than 50 yards? It's like, golf is very hard, and all of those little advantages that you can take, if you can afford fitting all of your clubs for like the mathematician route, if you can afford to specialize all of your clubs for your swing and maximize your potential, it all of those things play a role. Especially if you're just getting into it because it's the barrier for entry is so high.
Yeah, but I will say this is that like if you're just getting into it, don't go out and
No,
start
no,
golfing
yeah.
on the golf cars. Start putting,
Yeah.
start chipping. Like, don't be the jackass that takes 10 hours to play around a golf and
Hmm.
shoots 200 and doesn't let people
Yeah.
play through and is hitting the ball 5 feet every single time.
Right.
Go out, learn, read some books, figure out how to hold the club, figure out how to get your posture right, your stance right, where to place the ball. Like so many of these fundamental things that
Hmm.
people just don't know. Like your driver should be forward in your stance. This is how you putt. Like once you become a good putter, like you're saving yourself a lot of strokes there
Hmm.
because it's like up on the green and like but all so many of these things can really help like minimize that slice that you might start off with if you could just figure out how to get your stance right, your shoulders square, your
Hmm.
grip, your posture, like bend over with good posture, and not just like getting hunched over at your shoulders or bending at the waist, and so many of these things,
Right.
you know.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it.
You excited to go like drop $4,000 on a new set of clubs?
No, I mean, I got these clubs like 2 years ago or something. So they're the Callaway, I don't even remember what they're called. I didn't even play at all last year. I know I have an Epic Flash driver and I got that Direct Labs or Direct Force Labs putter. And that's about all I can remember. I know all of my set is Callaway though, except for my
Which was
sandwich.
interesting because a couple of years ago, Jake was into golf, and he was just never really seemed to have a putter that he liked, and so
Mm.
I had done a lot of research. Like I've always loved researching golf,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
just absolutely. And so I had heard about this putter company where it's like essentially perfectly scaled and weighted to how it moves. And so I was telling Jake about that, and he was able to find one at like a super discounted price. And so I was like, now I'm wanting to get back into golf. And I was like, huh, maybe I'll go get like a pair close to Jake. And I go online and I start looking at used ones. I was like, $350, like a brand new one, $700. And I'm like, holy cow.
Yeah.
I just bought them all up when I was telling you about it and tried to resell them because,
Yeah, no
holy
kidding.
cow, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I see them. I watch golf YouTube videos sometimes and I see them like all over. Like the when you sent that to me to suggest it to buy it, that was the first time I'd ever seen that putter. But now I see people using it a lot. Like it's a very popular putter.
Well, I was very fortunate. So back like 2016, 2014, I was playing a lot of golf, and down here, I was going to like pretty much every demo day that I could possibly go to, and they were at a demo day.
I see.
And so I was like, oh, this is cool. And I actually started putting with it. I was like, wow, dude, this feels really good.
Right.
Uh, this is really interesting. I mean, I putt pretty well with my own putter, but it's like I was always like getting, and I was working in the golf industry, so I was getting like a lot of free clubs and trying stuff out. So I had tried out a lot of clubs
Right.
already just for free, and that was something there where I was like, dude, like I think this is something that might be helpful to you, and I think it's actually a like something that could be helpful to a lot of people, and that's
Yeah.
something that's like, dude, I've thought like, man, like what would it take to actually start a golf business? Like, you know,
Right.
it's pretty cool how now we're in the social media technology age to where someone who wanted to create like a golf club like PXG, they were nobody
Mm.
probably like 12, well, probably about 15 or so years ago. They weren't even really anybody or like this
Right.
lab golf. They were nothing. There was no such thing.
Right.
And there's so like many private golf club companies now to where used to you have your Callaway, your Cobra, your Ping, your Titleist, TaylorMade, And those are really the big ones. And now we have like Cleveland's made a decent size launch where they were just wedges.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Shrixon, who's kind of came up. Wilson is now making some more decent. Oh, and Nike was something at one point in time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, now they're not really anything. Um, but I don't know. Yeah. I think it's just a great way to socialize, especially
Mm-hmm.
if you want to be a business professional and you want to connect with other people in business. Like that's what people are doing. They're
Oh
all
yeah.
playing golf. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
the better you are at golf, the more opportunities you are. Like I remember when I was like competing in long drive, it was like a lot of people just wanted me to like go and like play in scrambles with them, and I
Right.
got to go places to get to do that because I could hit a golf ball really far, and
Mm-hmm.
that was really it.
Hmm. Yeah, I guess you never really think about that. But it's like, yeah, if you're playing a scramble, I mean, you want to have somebody just hit it far, and then if their irons suck, oh well. But at least you get a far straight drive, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I was I could be a decent putter.
right.
But no, dude, like this gets me excited because something that used to be really, really cool to me was going around parts of the country and getting to play like really cool golf
Mm.
courses. So I've gotten to play a course in Las Vegas. I've got to play some really cool courses in Utah. Um, Other than that, those have been the really main. I mean, down here in South Florida, they've been cool, but they've just been a lot harder because of the water and trees. Like you got to really know what you're doing and hitting it the right distances and stuff like that. But that's what's something that's really cool about golf is that vacationing, right? So like, I'm not really big on wanting to go tourist places, but it's like, oh, dude, we should go play this course.
Yeah.
We should go play that course. Like that's something that's pretty cool. Like down here in South Florida, up in West Palm Beach, there's something called Palm Beach Par Three, and it's like an 18-hole par three course.
Mm.
That's like part of it's on the ocean, and the other part's like on the other side. It's like, oh, dude, I want to go do that. And then they have another place that is like lit. I think most of the
Like
holes are
night
only like
golf.
100. Well, it's not night golfing that the balls are lit. They actually have like actual lights
Oh.
like over the whole course and stuff, dude.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So like two of those things, that seems like really exciting to
Yeah,
get to
that
go to.
does. Huh. Yeah, that would be really cool to try. I can only imagine how many
Yeah.
lights that is. Dude, that is an insane amount of lights.
Yeah, dude, I remember the old golf course that I worked at there. It was in an area of downtown. I always wish that they would have just invested in lights because that would have
Mm.
been so cool to play that course. It's essentially right in the middle of a city, so there's already a lot of lights coming.
Mm-hmm.
But it was, oh, dude, that would be. I would look. I've seen that there are courses where there are actual
Mm-hmm.
like lights all up and down the course, dude. I think that would be so much fun because one of the nice things about playing at night is that there's usually not as much wind at night as there is in the day,
Right.
so you don't have to really worry about that,
Yeah.
which is way more calming. The sun's not glaring down at you, so it's just, I don't know, there's always been something enjoyable about playing golf, like right at the very end of the
Mm-hmm.
day where the wind dies down and like the dew's starting to get on the grass and
Mm-hmm.
everything's soft. It's like I always seem to play better at that very like end of light daylight.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's very calm. You start hearing the crickets come out and, and the birds are sitting there
Yeah.
chirping and it's very peaceful. Whereas, I mean, if you're golfing and it's a busy part of the day, it's, oh my God, this asshole in front of me, he's just hit it 20 yards. And it's not at night, you're not thinking about stuff like that. It's not, you're not in a rush. Like, you're just enjoying the view, you're enjoying the nature. And yeah, golf is a very mindset driven game.
Yeah, I've never really understood or figured out how people could go out and hunt and sit up in a tree and be able to enjoy that. But I can understand going out and just being able to golf by yourself. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
it's just so soothing
Mm-hmm.
sometimes if you don't take it too seriously. Like
Yeah.
that was one of
Yeah.
my big decisions. That was always like, okay, I'm gonna shoot under par today, and it was just like always just a living stress ball because I'm trying to like just compete and compete and compete and always win.
Yeah.
So I was just like, well, this is terrible. Throwing clubs and
Oh
swearing.
yeah. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if I was going to make a social media post before I got to the golf course, it would be today's words will be said. Like
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah. Golf is so much more fun when you're playing to enjoy the experience and playing to play well. But if you don't play well, you're not going to beat yourself up about it. And just in turn of not being so focused on shooting par or shooting under par. It's you play better a lot of the time because your nerves are a lot more under control. Whereas if you're like, oh, I'm one over at the turn, I have to shoot two under in order to shoot under par. And it's like, you don't want to be thinking about stuff like that. Like that stuff will make you shank one off into the woods. And then it's like, well, there goes my round. And might as well just go home now. It's just stuff like that.
But again, that's where the mental approach, man, like it will really focus or it will force you to work on self development, personal improvement, and getting right in your head and like letting stuff go. Like, which is something I always struggled with. And I'm hoping here over my own personal growth, and that has helped me to be able to really have a tougher mindset when it comes to sports and golf specifically, to be able to conquer that and enjoy it more and also play better. I mean, are there any specific memories of golf that you have that just like stick out to you of like really enjoyable experiences? Or do you remember your first time ever playing or anything?
I don't know that I necessarily remember my first time ever playing. One memory in particular sticks out to me above all of the other ones, I think, is we were playing at Cedar Lake back when we had memberships. And I'm pretty sure it was hole 9. And it was probably on one of those weekends where went out and played 72 holes or whatever. But hole 9, I was in the bunker off the right side of the green. And I don't know how many shots it took me to get there. It didn't really matter. I don't know, I couldn't have been 10 years old. I was probably younger than 10. And I was sitting there in the bunker, and you were sitting up there on the green watching. And I hit it out of the bunker, and I chipped in out of the bunker the first time ever. And this was back when you had like a flip phone and whatnot. And you gave me your phone, and I called Dad. I was like, Dad, I just chipped in out of the bunker on hole 9. And he got so excited. And I was like, oh, I don't know. That was just like, that is the memory that sticks out to me more than anything while I was playing golf.
Yeah, because I was trying to remember. I think we tracked like almost all of your first par. I was trying to think what that was. Your
Mm,
first birdie. I know that there was. I'm pretty sure that was on a par 3. I just don't
probably.
remember which one.
Hmm.
Um, and then I remember the one time where me and you went out with the two owners of Savory, and we were scrambling,
Right.
like playing for a
Yeah.
decent bit of money
Yeah, yeah.
when you were 6 years old, because you were you had clubs that were like like this
Yeah.
big,
Yeah.
and you got to hit from the red tees and you hit it straight, so I
Right.
could just try to hit it as far as I want because I always knew you would be in the middle of the fairway,
Right.
and then we would just go up there if we couldn't
Yeah.
use my ball and use yours. At 6 years old, you helped me win like $150,
Yeah.
and but yeah, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that was when I was working at Savory. And I remember telling Jimmy, he's like, no, like I don't work weekends because me and
Yeah.
Jake go golfing.
Yeah. And I
And so,
remember when we had a membership out at Island Hills, I remember we would always go out and we would get donuts from that place right where Subway used or well, I think the Subway's still there. But right by the Little Caesars and that complex, there was a donut shop and we would go in and get donuts sometimes. And then we go off to Island Hills and play 36, 54 holes or whatever.
I remember that because I remember getting like the brand muffins from that
Oh
place.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. You always got the muffins.
big old brand muffins.
Yeah.
There was probably like 1,000 calories or
Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. But I mean, there's recent moments that stick out to me. Like I got my first eagle 2 years ago, and it's like that sticks out, but only because it's so recent. If it's not a super great moment or anything, it's like Man, I was kind of surprised it took me to be 23 years old to get my first eagle, considering how much golf I played when I was younger. But yeah, I don't know. There was a lot of memories playing golf when I was just a little kid.
Yeah, I mean, you had SpongeBob balls. It is
Oh yeah,
interesting. There
yeah.
were a lot of memories from playing golf because let's see, where all did we play together? Cedar Lake, Island Hills, Klinger Lake, or you didn't play with me at Klinger Lake?
I didn't play with you at Klinger Lake.
Okay, okay. So Cedar Lake and Island Hills, we had memberships.
Yeah, yeah.
I pretty much, I would only get a membership if they would allow you to be free on my membership.
Yeah. And that one when we had memberships out at Island Hills, I remember after we played however many holes, we would go into that behind the clubhouse by that putting green, and we would always like make up a putting game or something. It's like, okay, start here, we're going to this hole, and then we would have like a tournament kind of thing
Yeah, putting
after a round.
contest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That was always fun.
No, yeah. I mean, it's special getting to play golf, and I think making memories, right? Like
Right.
sports, golf is a good way to be able to make memories with people because it's not like it takes. It's not like you have to be in like great physical condition like most sports, and so it's a casual event. You get to see some people do some really cool things or laugh, and if someone does something funny, like
Yeah.
hitting it in the woods or,
Yeah. Or hitting a car.
completely missing it, or, yeah, or hitting a
Yeah.
car or breaking the golf club
Yeah.
or whatever that might be.
Right.
So, no,
Yeah.
no, it was that was some good talks. Yeah, I guess this week we were able to get through a full episode without needing a guest. So we're back. We can do it. We've been able to see that. Didn't know if we could. I was getting a little nervous there,
Yeah.
wondering if we still got to do a podcast. So I'm excited that we did.
We still got it.
Yep.
Alrighty.
And we'll be back at you next week, guys, with
With a couple
some
guests.
guests. Who will they be?
Oh.
We don't know. Is
Well,
it
we
one?
know.
Is it two? Are they
Three.
the same? Are they different?
We
don't
know. Alrighty. See you, everybody.
See you guys.